Here's the question, boys. Do we do the side quests in this zone first? Or do we just move on and continue with the main storyline? I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to move on and do the main storyline. Hey. What just happened? Oh, Captain Gazoo, thanks for the follow, man. Really appreciate you. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Side quests, therefore world building for the best experience. Do side quests? Okay, I don't know. Because the main storyline and the side quests have very little to do with each other. But I am going to do the side quests all the same. Wasn't following anymore? Hey, I'm very happy to have you here, bro. After I did all the main quests, I'm back in zone. One on side quest now. Nice. Main to give context, to give everything. I think doing the whole campaign and then side quests later on provides the better experience. Okay. Side quests are good though. No, don't get me wrong. Aristara, I'm not suggesting for a second it isn't. The side quests is amazing. I've done every single one of the side quests in Isle of Dawn. And I loved it. So I have no problem doing either, but I'm really invested in the main storyline right now. So yeah, it's kind of that thing of I just want to see what happens next. I just want to see what happens next. Reason I did all main first is I follow stories better in order. Side quests are filler. The side quests, so what the side quests are is if Isle of Dawn is anything to go by, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same for all of the expansion, the main storyline is literally that. It's the main story, right? It's what you need to know. The side quests is what we would consider to be world building and zone building, as well as narrative design of the zone, which is the point, right? Zones need narrative. Those zones have their own stories. But I'm going to tell you, there's a couple of main storyline or side storylines that I can very easily see become main storylines in some of the patches. Like, there were a few on Isle of Dawn that I played through that I was like, dude, this could so easily become one of the main storylines. Last night, I was fishing for an hour, and the music and the ambience in the deep sea made me cry. You said if that Azeroth tried to set Earthen 3 with other speaker like Magni and didn't work, but didn't Magni did the ritual of his own initiative, and not because Azeroth wanted it from him? Martin, wait, what do you mean, of his own initiative? Did it literally show you on the last quest? I started dinner in Hallowfall. I love the zone. Okay, so we're gonna go to Hallowfall. Hey bro, so you think that side quest in BFA, etc. didn't flesh out the zones as well as they are now? I mean, it's very unfair to compare side quests in BFA, Shadowlands, even Dragonflight to the side quests in The War Within, because the philosophy is completely different from these two expansions. In the old expansions, the main storyline wasn't just the main storyline. If you don't believe me, go back with an alt and play through the Legion main storyline. Even Shadowlands. Shadowlands was the first time where they started changing the icons of the quests to give you the main story. But if you actually looked at the main story would oftentimes have some quests that had to do with the bigger storyline, but then also a lot of quests that had nothing to do with the bigger storyline. It was just the main story of the zone, right? So this is why the main storyline usually tended to feel a bit broken up. Like the pacing felt a little weird because you're doing this quest line to do with Zuval and the attack of the Maw on Bastion, for example. And then suddenly you're doing this quest line about how Bastion is mind controlling the Kyrian. And you're like, what the hell does this have to do with that? And then somehow it weirdly connects back into the Mawsworn and the Kyrians falling. And it's like, okay, I don't, like, how are we getting here? What's going on here, actually? So you'd have these very broken quest lines. Then the side quests in the old expansions were generally just filler. They weren't meant to really tell a story. They weren't meant to really fill out much. They were there to give you more things to do. Because Blizzard wanted to keep you busy, right? And they wanted to make it feel like there was a lot more to do. But if you think back, most of the side stories would literally be wasting time. Just killing a bunch of shit. And really only to level. That's basically their main goal, was to level faster. In The War Within, Blizzard's philosophy has changed, and they said this multiple times, so I'm not thinking this for myself. I'm literally saying what Blizzard said. The main story is now truly the main story. It only deals with the main beats of the story that every player needs to know in order to understand, why are we doing the first raid? Why are we doing the dungeons that we're doing? That's why they exist. The side stories are now, or the side quests are now, the zone stories. So every zone has a story. Every part of a zone has a story. If we look, for example, let's just fly randomly, right? And we say this area here, right? So look at that area there. There's obviously a story here. Just looking at this area, you can tell there's something here. Something happened here. Something must have led to this place looking the way that it is. Someone must have built this. Why is this here? What is the point of these tracks, for example, here? Now, Blizzard have moved the side quests to explaining this. So you do side quests that fill in what is the story of the world, right? And I think it works. I think it works brilliantly because it streamlines pacing. It removes all of the problems that used to exist with pacing and instead says, do this if you just want the main story. Do this if you actually care about the story and the lore.